I think the really core message of this report is that we want to look at underrepresentation of women in science and engineering subjects in light of the society we live in as a whole. So the messages that we're sending out to girls and boys about what's acceptable and expected for them to do, you know, starting from the toys that we give them, right through to kind of what people think science and engineering careers are about, like that they're dirty, that they're male. And neither of these things are true, so we need to bust both of those stereotypes open.
Do these principles apply in other professions? I mean, there's no shortage of female PC. We have police officers, female soldiers applying to join the army or the other armed forces, and they get given the same toys when they're children. Is it really as simple as that?
I think it's absolutely fundamental. I mean, just looking back through, you know, advertising of children's toys back through to the 1970s, I know I grew up playing with Lego and cars and trains as well as dolls. Nowadays, things seem to be much more gender segregated, and I think that's sending such a strong message to children from such a young age, so that by the time professional scientists like myself are starting to speak to teenage girls and saying, you're all clever, you've got vast potential, you could come and do science, they're already having received the message that, no, that's not for you, it's for the boys.
Yeah. And actually, Ofsted did a study a few years ago, and by 7 or 8, children are already classing jobs and careers as male, for men or for women. So it starts really early, and probably even earlier than that as well.
One thing we've talked about before is the fact that it seems that girls who are in all-girls schools seem to go into science, technology, whatever it is, more often. Why do you think that might be?
I think it's a really good example of what works. When we're looking at what we need to change, it's about the ethos and the culture in those schools that have it as something that's very normal and expected for girls to study these subjects. So actually, there's an interplay between expectation of teachers and parents and then confidence and aspiration of girls.
My little boy, when he was 4 years old, overheard somebody say something about me being a professor. He started to laugh and say, "You're not a professor, Mummy." And I said, "Yes, I am." And we discussed this a little bit. And he said, "But you can't be, because professors have beards." Now, you know, already that signal had come across. He has a woman professor at home.